All right, I did it again. Always hitting the wrong button. uh, Welcome everybody to tonight's Let's Talk Autism. For those of you who are new here, what this is all about, it's just our social gathering of us getting together and talking about autism and our loved ones on the spectrum, learning, sharing, and supporting one another. For those of you who don't know me, I am Nita. I am one of the admins of this wonderful establishment. Couldn't hear you.
I just sat here and chuckled at you doing that. Hi everyone, I'm Linda, and I hope everyone's having a good Sunday.
So, what we decided to do was a continuation of what we talked about last week, OCD and autism. Um, uh, Wait a minute, I'm trying to pull up what exactly we had here. But yeah, we're going to talk about OCD again. That's going to be our focus tonight. But again, it's always open. If you have any other questions or want to make comments, feel free. But tonight's focus topic is going to be continuation of OCD and autism, repetitive behaviors, routines and rituals, insistence and sameness, and intense interest. So chime in if you want, and that's what we're going to be discussing. But before we do that, a couple of announcements. Um, for those of you who are in the main group, parent support group, um, and you want to participate in our Beautiful Faces of Autism picture campaign, there is a post up in the group under the featured post section. Just follow the instructions and post the picture. But please make sure you read what I wrote. Don't just go in and post the picture. You have to follow the instructions and make sure you give us permission to use the picture. We do this every year, and it could be a picture of yourself if you're on the spectrum, your child, a family photo. We just want to share these beautiful faces of autism all through the month of April. Anything else? Oh, another thing is if any of you want to do a live for Autism Awareness Month, feel free to reach out to me or Linda and let us know your topic and what day and time you'd like to do your live in April. So let's see who's here. Hey, Spencer. A little off topic, but let's start positive. I was separated from my sister by the foster care system 13 years ago. I just found her a few weeks ago. Seen her yesterday for the first time in 13 years. Wow. We had a great reunion. That is awesome, Spencer. That's beautiful. Beautiful. I'm happy for you guys. Let me put the link in here for Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles. Okay.
Hey Charles, hey Sonia, hey Michelle, hey Beth, hey
Hey,
Teresa.
Beth, Sonia, Michelle, Miss Beth. I don't look real. Yeah, she was talking, but she. Hey, Teresa. Okay, amazing. Yes, isn't that wonderful, Beth? That is awesome news. That is really wonderful. So, Linda, you want to start off with the focus topic this evening?
Yeah, I
Start.
don't know too much of what you guys talked about last week. But I thought of this topic because I guess what was it that I wrote about?
Hey, Stacy.
I thought you were telling me you couldn't hear me again. Okay.
I'll put it
Repetitive
in
behavior.
again, Mr. Charles. Oh, go
Okay, so
ahead.
repetitive behaviors, routines, and rituals, insistence on sameness, um, intense interests, and OCD. So Emily, throughout the years, so she's 18. Throughout the years, she went through different through those things. whether it's repetitive behavior. And she's still, I mean, I guess through some years there was more anxiety about it, but right now she's going through what her teacher and what we think might be OCD. And I wanted to see if anyone else was dealing with this or has dealt with this. She can go from like shutting a bathroom door, her bedroom door, and she has to shut it a few times, or and then she'll hold it for a certain amount of time, and then she'll finally let go of the door. Different things that when she throws something away, that it has to lay in the garbage can just so. When she finishes a drink, it has to be finished completely, not one drop left. She has to do everything just so. So it's kind of it's stressing me out by seeing it how, because things can't always happen, the way that somebody who's obsessive wants it to happen. And it makes it so much more prone to a meltdown happening when she can't do all those things. Sometimes we're in a hurry too, and she still has to go through her processes. Hey, Charles.
Hey, Nita and Linda. How are y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Good, good. How are you?
Oh, doing fine, doing fine. Having a good weekend. We had our KM school yesterday, and so enjoyed that. And
Nice.
yeah,
So I know Lorienda, she says she's OCD, and I believe she takes medication for it.
Okay.
And she was telling us about her OCD. And I know Beth said she was married to her ex who had OCD. Um, and if I remember, it was someone else in here that were referring to their child um, and OCD. Was it
And
you, Sonia? Was it Queen or someone else? But if you guys want to share your experiences, even if you did last week, share some insight, uh, things you know about OCD. Um, Teresa says, my son is sleeping in his own. Awesome.
very
nice,
good,
nice.
very
That's
good.
good. And Beth says it can drive others nuts. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's, I think because it just it I don't know. It was one funny thing did happen was, so she has to keep shutting her door a certain way, right? And I told her, because she would open the door, slam it, open the door, slam it, open the door, slam it. So I was like, Emily, you're gonna break the door. So I was trying to, like, like, how do we, okay, so maybe she might get in her mind, um, because something made her start doing this with certain things. And we did figure out that the door probably started to make her do that because sometimes the door wouldn't shut all the way, so then
Okay.
the cat might open her door. And so I think once she figured out, that's where the routine came from. And then so I was like, you're gonna break the door, right? So one night I was shutting her door, and of course the time the door breaks and the doorknob comes off, it was in my hand. It was when I was trying to shut the door, but it was after it took its toll. But so so I didn't even tell her. I was like, I don't even want to have a meltdown. I don't want her to have a meltdown right now. So I didn't even tell her. I forgot what we did. We're like, you're just gonna sleep with the door open tonight, whatever. But yeah, it's getting like yeah, it's getting to be, because I guess, there's already specific things that our kids need or want, and we try to make it okay for them. But with those kind of behaviors, it takes it to more things that we have to have just so there won't be a meltdown.
Mhm. So yeah, you're right, Sonia. You did mention Queen was a hoarder, and we touched
Oh, okay.
a little bit on that. Whereas that could kind of, in some instances, I guess hoarding
Mm-hmm.
can be part or separate. I know Mr. Charles gave us some insight on hoarding. It's a different type of issue, maybe.
Yeah, it's still like a mental disorder, but it could be because of I guess, like, so there's this one kid that was on in the group, and he hoarded, and he had a lot of things, and it was messy in his room. but he knew where everything was. He knew if you move something, he knew if you turned the shirt over or if you move the water bottle a little bit. But it was almost like I had asked Steve that maybe it was a control thing, that her behaviors, she can control some things, and these are things that she can control, and she's 18, and maybe that's what she's trying to do is, um, put some control in there where she knows these are the things that I can do, and they won't change because I do them. So I was wondering if that's why she does it. But yeah, hoarding is could be another thing where it's almost tied to like some people get like that where they don't want to let anything go, and it might be because they lost somebody or something, and then they get to the point where they don't want to lose anything or get rid of anything. But
Yeah,
Then it keeps adding on and
mhm,
adding
yeah.
on.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, yeah. It can be things like that, and it's again, you know, we on the autism spectrum tend to have some of the characteristics of OCD, but most of us don't have enough to qualify for a diagnosis of OCD.
I was reading about that too, and I read that they said that when there's autism and OCD, the treatment is more limited because depending on the level of autism and cognition and understanding, that because some of those are like you can control it with medication, but some of it's controlling it behaviorally. But if they're not understanding it, if they can't understand that this is an issue and I need to control it like this, and the psychiatrist says this and that, then they can't implement the same things that we can implement. So the treatment for OCD with autism can be really limited, which of course didn't make me feel any more better, because that's already a thing. So we're like trying to think of, words to say that won't make her go the opposite, to start doing it more because we said it's a certain way. So we're kind of like tiptoeing around, like, how can we, discourage certain behaviors without sounding negative and without her trying to think I'm going to do it more now because, it's just a stressful situation.
Yeah,
Now, I was mentioning something. Well, I had told you guys, and I said this last Sunday too, that I was going to change DeAndre's room, the theme. And anytime you move anything in his room, if it's out of place, he knows. If I put the chair, especially his game chair, if I put it on the other side of the wall, he gets upset and has to move it, closer to where his bed is. It's got to be in that exact spot. He has this thing now, and I don't know if he got it from me. He has to have the fan on. Well, he has a fan that he sits on the dresser,
Mhm.
but he has to have it on. If I go in the room and he's asleep and I turn that fan off, he's getting up out of his sleep and turning that fan back on.
wow, yeah,
I'm like, so I decided not to touch his room because, I mean, no matter if it's any of his electronics, his cars, especially his cars. And I told you, no matter where he goes,
Oh,
if
that's
he
right.
knows he's going for the night, he's going to take all those big diecast cars, fill his bag up as much as he can. Even if he doesn't take them out the bag, that bag is going with him. Those cars are
Mhm.
going with him.
yeah. Well, one of the things I've, in my, particularly in my later years, I had to, just get used to the fact that most women like to change things around from time to time.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I told Cindy, as long as I know where things are at, as
Mhm.
long as you tell me where things are at now, that's fine with me. But because I do most of the cooking, so I know particularly when she rearranges the kitchen. Okay, I know where to find the spices and the sauces and so on. Know where it is, then that's cool.
As long as you know where everything is, you're good. Okay, so Beth says we had to plan ahead, always accommodate for them and these things. It seemed to get worse over time, Meds help, but my ex said it made him feel like a zombie. Okay.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Mhm. Jaden is a hoarder. Okay. Linda,
Yeah.
can you take over? I'm getting ready to
Yeah.
walk out. Right
So
back.
Oh, very good. Excellent, Teresa. Glad to hear.
good. Glad he had an A plus. He did really well.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. With what Beth said. And then I don't know. It's just I think we talked to her teacher. Her teacher said that she saw some behaviors as well, and she would start to notate them, and then we would know whether to talk to the psychiatrist about it. She's on medication. It's one of the short acting ones for ADHD. She's not diagnosed with ADHD though. And then I see certain different meds for OCD, but then we have to think of how that affects autism too. So it's I don't know. It's just a whole big thing. The one thing that I noticed is that she's very clean. She likes her things orderly and she likes her room neat. And so do I. The thing is that I feel like the more that I encourage that, the more obsessive she's going to get with it.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, that something that you encourage can become it's got to be this way.
Exactly.
You encourage once.
Yeah, exactly. Like her bed. She makes her bed every morning, and we never, we never told her she had to, but she does life skills at work, at school. So she started to make her bed every morning. And so one of our sons moved out, so we put all her books into his room last week, and they're all orderly, and she has nice, shelves, and she goes in there and she looks at them. But now the thing is, can she handle having a stack of books in her room now, because that was the new, guideline. And I don't know if she'll vary from it. I think with autism, it's hard to know if it's OCD or just because of autism. That's true too. That's what I wondered, if it was kind of like because her program too for the last 6 years, I believe it was 6 years, was set up around life skills. So the things that she learned either through that or through ABA were things that this is how we do things. This is what we do. So when we introduce a new thing, like this is where we put this is where we put that becomes the new norm. And then she sticks with that. But at the same time, when it can't be, or, there's a little bit of leverage in there, can she adjust to that? Autism probably prevents her from doing it, changing as easily.
And it's I think the thing with OCD versus autism is not only OCD, there's a number of characteristics. If you have a certain number of them, then you probably have OCD. But a lot of people with autism have some of those characteristics, but not enough of them to qualify for an OCD diagnosis, and that's one way you distinguish the two.
Yeah, I looked them up too, how they have, how, if you ever seen those things, they're two circles and they put the circles kind of connected and they show in the middle of the two circles. So it's autism in one circle, OCD in another circle, and the two circles overlap. In that overlap, they write the symptoms that occur in both. Okay. So there's like an overlap where, because it is very similar. So I seen some that she didn't have, of course, on both sides. But yeah, it's just, I think what stresses me out is because I think that the treatment will be somewhat limited because of it.
That's great, Beth, that your son is learning Spanish. That's very good. I ate
Beth,
Spanish all the way through high school, 3 years of it, and I've forgotten most of it.
DeAndre was the same way, Beth. He got on YouTube. YouTube taught him so much, and he learned all his numbers in Spanish.
Yeah.
I recently came across a video, and it was Emily. it was Emily in the other room, and I was standing, I was in the family room, and I was standing out where she couldn't see me, and I was recording her, and she was in there, when kids do TV talk or they're playing and they're talking, she was doing that, but she was talking in Spanish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I just came across that video, but it's funny, some things that you forget, but yeah, she still watches different languages and things, but when I came across that video, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened. But
Okay,
it's funny how they
everybody,
pick up on
real
that.
quick. Please share some love as you come in. Hit that love button, that like button. Let us know you're here, even if you're not in the chat. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah. I think you told us that, Beth, last week. Yeah.
Clean, that's what it means to be online. The vacuum, the oven, clean, and lawnmower on carpet. Oh yeah, he was
I was
like,
laughing.
really?
I was
Oh,
laughing
go
because
ahead.
she said vacuum the oven. I sometimes I'll vacuum the stovetop, if there's too many I have done that, but I'm not like obsessive. It's just like, yeah, sometimes I just especially if I'm cleaning everything and the vacuum's right there. Um Hey Lorianda.
Hi, Lorianda.
Yeah.
Missed you too. I hope
Yeah.
Brandon's doing okay.
Yeah. Good to see you, Linda. And, good to see your face live
Right.
on there
I
as
know I'm
opposed to
back.
just the image.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in my office. I'm gonna sit down because it's hard for me to sit still. So I try not to be on camera and be disruptive. Uh,
Hey,
hey Danielle.
Danielle, we're gonna talk probably right after sometime in April.
Hi,
Get
Danielle.
together.
Thank you,
Yeah, I love
Danielle.
her hair too.
Thank you.
You should see her other daughter too. All three of them look alike.
Yeah, that's what we always say. Yeah, they're just
Triplet.
other
Uh,
little.
Well,
They're just other
you
versions
take
of me.
care, get your rest, Lorianda, and hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, I hope you
Aw,
feel better. Sorry, you're sick,
yeah.
Lorienda.
I hope you feel better. Sounds like the evil one that was with my mom. Cleaned the cat boxes 4 times a day, washed the cat dishes daily, mopped all the floors daily, threw the small rugs in the washer and towels daily. Drove me crazy. Because then
Wow.
you feel like you can't live,
Now that's really obsessive, right?
yeah, like you can't enjoy the things that you have because it's always in cleanup mode.
Yeah. Well, there's the fact, sometimes you got to throw out stuff too that, you no longer use. Like, one of the things I'm going to have to do is I'm going to get rid of a number of my dress shirts because, some people over the last year, I've lost more than 20 kilograms. And so now, the neck of my shirts has gone down from 17 and a half inches all the way down to 16.
Man. Thank you, Lorianda.
So, the 17 things that are 17 or 16 and a half I'm keeping, but the 17 and a half I'm getting rid of.
17. Say that again. Say that again, Mr. Charles.
I mean, the things that are 17-inch neck or 16 and a half inch neck I'm keeping
Oh,
because they're only a little big on me, but the 17 and a half, or I've even got some that are 17 and a half / 18-inch neck, and those are going. Those they're too big to wear. You put a tie on them and it looks funny.
Yeah. Linda vacuuming the stove sounds like good domestic engineering to me.
That's a good
Well,
one.
well, sometimes it's appropriate. Sometimes the stove or the oven might need to be vacuumed, but when it's
Yeah,
a frequent thing, that's another story.
No, it's actually not storming. It's about that time anyway to get dark, but It's been a nice day here, Beth. Really nice.
Yeah, here last I heard it was supposed to rain tomorrow. Let me see what they're saying now, though. Let's see if that forecast still holds. Because let's say it's 12 degrees right now. Yeah, this says 60% chance of rain tomorrow at least. So we'll see. Cindy's planning to meet a friend of hers, go out and work with the cart tomorrow, but that might not happen if that 60% chance of rain holds up.
Oh, yeah. Rain? Is it storming where you are, Beth? Hi, Michelle. Okay, cool beans.
Hi,
There you
Monica.
are, Veronica.
Hey,
Chime
Veronica.
in the team group, and give me your info.
Oh, by
Yeah,
the way, Nita, did you get my
yep,
my
yep.
messenger
I
thing?
have
Okay,
it. Yep,
okay.
I have your message. I haven't opened because I got. Wait, let me show you guys what I got. You
Oh
guys.
yeah, yeah, Danielle, that's true. Yeah, I can recite 76 to the 12th power from memory.
So let me get on camera here. Ta-da! So I'm getting ready to write everything down. I'm ready. I'm ready. So I
Okay.
went and got this day before yesterday. So I'm getting everybody's schedules together and put them in my trusty little book here.
But yeah, Danielle, the math was one of the things that led me to the diagnosis because my daughter, when she saw the movie Rain Man, she right away recognized the resemblance, and she began urging me to see the movie. And when I did, I quickly realized why she had been urging me to see it.
So you seen things in him, um, in you.
Definitely, yeah. I saw myself as a milder version of Raymond
Okay.
because he could do math problems in his head I couldn't do in my head, but he couldn't do a very simple problem involving applied math. There's applying applied thing involving simple arithmetic. He couldn't do it because it involved applying to a practical situation, and that's the thing. And I saw other traits of him too that were more severe versions of me.
Okay. Okay. Be right back, y'all. I'm boiling
Okay.
something once.
Wow, go scrub the toilet the second you walked out. Wow. I mean, some things are meant, not to stay, squeaky clean. Dowagiac. Oh yeah, Dowagiac. I know where that is in the southwestern corner of Michigan. I knew somebody from Dowagiac when I was in college. So yeah. Well, the thing with the metric system, Beth, is that when you don't think metric, that's when it becomes tricky. But once you get into, and once you're thinking metric, all your thinking is in the metric system, it's much easier to use than the English system. You think everything is in multiples of tens, just add a zero or take away a zero, and or move over a decimal place, whatever. It's all in tens. 10 millimeters in a centimeter, 10 centimeters in a decimeter, 10 decimeters in a meter, and so on, as opposed to 12 inches in a foot, 3 foot in a yard, you know, 16 and a half foot in a rod. Uh, remembering things like that, 5,280 foot in a mile.
Yeah, we have to use like millimeters when we're measuring at work for the audits, our audits, and I still have to look at my chart every time. So if they put in front of me, I'm just now getting the millimeters, getting you know used to that. But if they throw in uh, look for 300 centimeters, then I'm like,
Yeah. Well, of course, you're mentioning millimeters. It illustrates another thing about the metric system, and that's it can measure some very small quantities, both in terms of distance, in terms of mass, in terms of area, and so on. You can measure some very small amounts that you can't measure in the English system, because the smallest measurement is the inch. You can measure, you can talk about a quarter of an inch, a 16th of an inch, and so on. But even that's awkward to say. In the metric system, you go down. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. A centimeter is 10 millimeters. If you need to go down smaller than that, a millimeter is 1,000 microns. 1 micron is
I'm
10,000
confused.
angstrom units.
That's
I mean,
the word,
you think about
I'm
the fact,
confused.
or think about the fact that and when you look at nutrition labels on foods, or you look at anything related to medication, you see things in milligrams and micrograms, and again, that's because it would be very awkward to measure that in English measurements, because the smallest measurement is the ounce. Smallest measurement of weight or mass is the ounce, and you go smaller than the ounce. Well, even a gram is a 28th of an ounce, and then you get into a milligram, and that's 1/28,000th of an ounce, and a microgram is 1/28 millionth of an ounce. But in metric, you can relate all that together. Once your mindset is metric, it's easy to work with. It's
You
just
could
tough
tell
when you
this
have to
is a
convert it
subject
to
he
English.
loves.
I
When you're
look at it
thinking
just like
English.
this. I look at it as medicines are, okay, so they're milligrams, they're
Mhm.
metric. Okay, now I go by inches and feet, but then okay, but even tools will have the like 1/8, there's certain ones that are metric and certain, but some of them I thought said metric and American measurement on, depending on the side you look at. But then I just now realized that the ruler is the inch and the centimeter. So the ruler, depending on which way, if you're measuring the centimeters or the inches, is actually both. But I just have it in my mind that, okay, these ones are metric, like say like the milligrams, things like that. But these ones are not. Like I don't think I could ever say pounds in kilograms. Like
Yeah,
I don't think that my brain will ever like just automatically say, okay, it's this many kilograms. It's always going to be
Right.
pounds. Like pounds equals my size. I don't know if I could say kilograms equals my size. I don't know.
yeah. Well,
Yes, as I
I do my
use.
weight now. The my target weight, and what I've been consistently weighing in right around is 75 kilograms, which is 165 pounds.
Okay. So Danielle says I used to color code my school subject, and math was always red because I hated it.
Yeah, math was my favorite subject. Right
Oh, we
behind that,
know.
I
right
know.
behind it was chemistry. My parents got me a chemistry set. When I was 10 years old, they bought me a chemistry set for Christmas, and then they bought me some more advanced chemistry sets in the next couple of years. And I loved working in a chemistry set, and I learned all about chemistry just from that chemistry set, and then from reading supplementary. After that, learned. I now I've, I still remember most of the periodic table. There's some parts of it, though, particularly the rare earth elements, I have to look up. I don't remember all of them, uh, but I remember most of the periodic table anyway.
Okay. Yes, Lorienda. Uh, give me the date on the weekdays. Anytime after 4, and yeah, weekends I should be okay anytime during the weekend. Just let me know your date and time and your topic. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
My daughter, I'm boiling some noodles, some spaghetti noodles. My daughter made her famous spaghetti sauce because we had all the kids this weekend. I had a daycare, and they ate all the spaghetti noodles up. I have to, so I'm boiling me some more so I can eat now.
Well, today I made jerk chicken for
Oh, that
lunch. We,
sounds
we
good.
decided to make our lunch our main meal of the day. So I put that in. I have a recipe that calls for putting in the slow cooker, marinating overnight, then putting in the slow cooker, and then when I put marinade in, I reserve a little bit of the sauce because then when they came home from the meeting today, I put it in the oven on broil and put a little bit of sauce on the chicken and that way finished it.
Okay. Oh, Veronica, did you get me about the team group? Make sure you go over there. So I want to put this through this evening. Um, she says Eddie lately is really into Russian alphabet. Wow, a lot more, my friend.
On Gabriel Paruski,
Huh?
does he speak Russian?
Oh, does he speak Russian? That's it. And he is loving it. Oh, okay. Wow, interesting. Or she needed maybe. I'm about to eat. I'm about to, as soon as these noodles get ready. Them kids, they just left about 10 minutes to 7. All of them. Math hurts my head. I envy those who are good with me. I do too. I do too.
I love math.
We do metric.
Sometimes
Yeah.
even to help me get to sleep, I'll do math problems in my head, and that helps me get to sleep.
Hey, Tanya.
Hey,
Hi,
Tanya.
Tanya.
That's
MLC.
what I was gonna say.
Milliliters, yeah.
Milliliters.
Yeah,
Milliliters.
yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Anything pharmaceutical, I work with metric because English system measurements just don't go down small enough. It'd be very awkward to measure any medication in ounces, well, unless it's a liquid medication.
She said
Yeah.
this reminded her why she quit engineering. The math, huh? Good everyone is when it comes to their money, baby. Don't play with. Well, that's the one thing. That is the one thing. That's
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
The
I'll
other
be
week I
right
was,
back, guys.
I'm
the
not
other
good
week
at
I was
math,
in,
but oh, sorry. Go ahead.
the other week I was in New York City, and we were down in the subway station at Yankee Stadium. The carts set up there, and they had a sign there. I'm not sure what the significance of the number was, but it had the number 1597 in there, and on the sign in big numbers. And I right away recognized that that's a number in the Fibonacci series.
Mm.
It's the 17th number in the Fibonacci series. One thing about the Fibonacci series is that every prime numbered number in the series is itself a prime number. So like 17 is a prime number. The 17th number in the series, which is 1597, is a prime number.
And I'm trying to think of.
The Fibonacci series goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and so on. It's the first two numbers are 1, and then after that, every number is the last two numbers added together.
Yeah, that's you know where I heard it, of course. The Fibonacci series is on one of our videos, the creation video,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, the
they
one
were talking
about
about
patterns.
Fibonacci.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the only reason why I know what Fibonacci is. But yeah, and that it occurs in nature, which is uh, really interesting. But I mean, it's the creation video. But yeah, that's the only place I've ever heard that. And then just now when you said that, but I don't think I ever thought about it like otherwise
Yeah.
because it's just so like.
My parents wrote a book about Leonard Fibonacci, and they dedicated the book to me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's called Leonard of Pisa is the title of the book. Joseph and Francis Geese.
Really?
The authors, yeah, look it
Oh,
up. Leonard of Pisa, Joseph and Francis Geese. You'll find it.
okay.
But they anyway, they dedicated the book to me.
Oh, really neat. So they wrote about the Fibonacci was a person that
He
broke
was
the
an,
sequence,
he
or
was an Italian merchant who traded with the Arabs, and he learned about the what we call the Arabic numeral system from them, and he introduced it to Europe. And that made possible the Industrial Revolution in Europe, made a lot of things possible in Europe that weren't possible with the Roman numeral system. The Roman numeral system, just didn't lend itself to complex mathematical calculations. And it was unwieldy, didn't have the concept of zero as a number. Of course, Arabs actually didn't originate the Arabic numeral system. They got it from India.
oh, so that's where Fibonacci came into play then.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
As they spread the religion of Islam into India, then in turn they learned, as they taught people there, they as they taught Islam to the people of India, they also learned some things from the people of India, including that numeral system. Learned some mathematical things from the people of India, and then Leonard Fibonacci introduced the Arabic numeral system to Europe, made a huge difference, made a lot of things possible that weren't possible with the Roman numerals.
So I'm back, but I'm
Yeah,
eating
well,
the
that's right. It
Okay.
sounds a lot less when in kilograms. Yeah, even my weight, 165 pounds versus 75 kilograms.
It just throws me off because then I don't know, like, okay, is that a lot? Is that a little bit?
right.
If someone was like, you weigh such and such kilograms, but is that a lot or is it a little bit? Veronica says that she I'm not good at math, but because of my work practice has made me better, which she's a farm tech. And then Lorianda says I use money, miles, and gallons for my food. And Michelle, also a farm tech, says same. I do like when they convert my weight to kilo. That's the one we just did. Yes, Danielle, wait when I need to lose. LOL. I know, because too, if I heard kilograms, I'm like, oh man, I'm doing good, but then because the number's lower, but if it's not really lower, if it's a high kilogram, it's still gonna sound lower than pounds, but should I be
Yeah, one box of 4 pens, 0.5 milliliter each, so that's 2 milliliters total. So yeah, they bill per milliliter, not per box. Yeah.
And then there are books and online support groups for those with OCD, but also for families. They do help ways to cope. I'll have to look into that. And you know what happened? So we did Emily's conservatorship. So we now, because she turned 18, so we got all 7 rights from the court. So we can make decisions for her, do everything we need to. There was some paperwork that when the conservatorship was approved, I think it was sent over to SSI. And because I got something from some, I don't even know if it was really SSI though, but so I had to write out what kind of support she needs for everyday life. So I wrote it out, and then what she could and could not do with work or a job, wrote that out. I sent it back to the lady in Utah. Anyway, so it came back, and now they set up an appointment for Emily to go meet with the psychologist, and they want to go through an assessment to assess whether she has autism or not.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Even
I was
though
like,
she has it in her medical records, her history.
Yeah. So of course, when I'm looking, I'm like, okay, well, we'll be there.
That's what you want to do.
Oh my God, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You have these government agencies that don't trust each other, and so never mind that this other agency, the people that are agreed unanimously that
and
it's
all
autism.
these
We need to verify it for ourselves because we don't trust them.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, we'll be there. I mean, no point in arguing it. You know, I mean,
Right, right.
they're going to see exactly what I wrote on the paper, nothing different. And I manage a grocery store counting lots of money, but that's as far as my math skills get. LOL.
Yeah.
Beth Frost, shoot, I'd say that's pretty important. Sounds like you've got it for the most part. LOL.
Right,
Um,
right.
yeah, she's
Right.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. I've been in this group long enough. I've heard her grow. When we started, I joined this group, maybe she was 15 or so, I think, and
Yeah.
heard her, I know it must have been longer than that because before the pandemic, I was in this group. So it must have been maybe 13 when I joined the group, because I joined the group well before the pandemic.
They
Yeah,
grow
and
so fast.
they do, because I think when we started, Emily was 17 to 6, so she was 12 years old, and I guess DeAndre was 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they're
That's
both
right. So she
almost
must have
grown up.
been, yeah, that's right. Because, of course, you and I have been acquainted with each other through the group for quite a while. So it may have been
Yeah,
just
that's right.
the earliest I remember. Yeah.
Thanks, Lorianda.
Yep. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I hope the evaluation goes smoothly. Yeah, I'm sure it will. I just felt bad because I was saying that, so Emily started to have behaviors at school, and then this OCD at school and at home. Her behavior medication had to increase for impulsivity, but all of this seemed to have started when we started to talk about her living arrangements as an adult and what she wanted to do. And then investigator came in from the court, and the North Bay Regional Center talks to her, and then school talks to her, transition team talks to her. So everyone starts talking to her about it. And I feel like that kind of made her feel uneasy, insecure, or stressed. And I felt like that's when the OCD thing started. And then now things started to calm down since we got conservatorship on January 3rd. Things started to calm down some. She had one more appointment with the regional center since then, but now she has to go in to do this assessment where we don't help her on this one. This isn't one, where they can say, oh, we can ask you guys. No, they ask her everything. So it's like another stressor for her. And yeah, not looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And she has to go for fingerprints Tuesday because
What's that for?
so again, she's a grown up. So I have a child care. So for the social services, I have to have her fingerprinted, just anybody who lives in the home. So she's got her real ID. We got that last month or January. So then, in February we got it. And then now it's so strange because she has to do adult things too. I was able to get her on my doctor's panel. So she's got her adult doctor now too. Everything is just so different when they turn 18.
Yeah.
Show them. Yeah, exactly. How are you going to tell about your child? Yeah, exactly. I read the letter. I was like, okay, whatever you want to see. Okay. I just felt like,
Right.
there ain't nothing. I put exactly each question, everything. And something told me to photocopy that, I started to say everything I filled out when she turned 18, I'm making a binder for her so she can have everything in one place, just because there's so many different places now with documents in her case and everything. It
Yeah,
just
that's
gets,
a good idea.
yeah, it's like, I just want it at hand. Like, who are you? Okay, what are we talking about? And go from there.
Now that would be something good for this month, Linda. The guardianship, if you want to get the girls.
Yeah. I have one thing I'm starting this week. When is it's yeah, okay. I'm trying to think of what month it is. But I think this week I'll get the schedule, the normal schedule, and then I'll be able to let you know what day it's open for.
Cool.
My sweet Emily bug. That's crazy, Linda. Like, yeah, we'll leave her with you, then decide if she's autistic. Exactly.
Right.
Like there's like I said, there's nothing. I mean, yeah, there's nothing. I mean, it's just it just makes me mad that they would put somebody through that. Emily, they put her through that.
Unnecessarily.
Yeah,
And
it's
all
just,
they have to do is follow her history. And I
yeah,
know they've been in her medical records. So,
medical records, school records, North Bay Regional's records, hospital. I mean,
wow.
there's so many different things, that they could just look at and see, it's, but they want to go straight to the person, and cause her this stress. And for some reason, every single school year that Emily, since she's been in school, even in preschool, some reason, March through the end of the school year is always rough. And they said maybe it was allergies and she's feeling tired, and maybe she's just always feeling icky, even though she doesn't look like it. They said she could be feeling like that. Maybe that's why she gets like that every March. Well, we're in that period of time right now, and then there's these extra things that we have to go through.
All right.
So, and then we don't know when to start talking to her about graduation. We talked to her about graduation, but we didn't talk about the transition program that will be next. We didn't talk about the school change, and we didn't talk about the graduation ceremony.
Uh-huh.
So we're like, we got to introduce that with just a little bit of time left, but enough time to adjust to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can even look for some like movies, TV shows, whatever, that have a scene that has a graduation ceremony in it to show her kind of what to expect.
Yeah, she did one for junior high, and she did the ceremony, and she did all that. She's seen her siblings, and she knows it. And I think, well, when she turned 18, we think she thought she wasn't going to school anymore because she was a grown up now, because we said you're going to be a grown up, you're going to be a grown up. She turned 18, and we said you're a grown up. So we think that she thought she wasn't going back to school, because she threw a fit when she found out she was going back to school after the winter break, because her birthday is January 5th. So I said, I think she's crying because she thought she didn't go to school anymore because she's a grown up. So we want to tell her about the graduation, but we don't want her to get to the point where I'm not going anymore because graduation. When is graduation? So we have to tell her enough in advance, but not too long in advance, because she's going to be anticipating it.
Yeah, and of course, the thing is, you and Steve know her better than anybody else, and
Yeah.
and then use your best judgment about when to tell her.
Yeah, that's what you should see it. Sometimes we're just looking at each other, bro. Okay, what about this? Okay, so then we'll do this, and then we'll do that. Okay, so we got a game plan. And we're just like throwing things back, and then and it's good too, because one of us might think of something that the other one doesn't think of, and that might be the thing that takes the center, like, but she might say this, that kind of thing. But it's like strategic. Yeah, anxiety,
Anxiety, yeah.
definitely. Poor baby girl. I hope it goes smoothly. Thank
Yeah,
you.
me
I hope
too.
so too. Yeah.
It's just too much going on.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and it's, oh my goodness, it's just a whole lot going on. And
But
she's getting to the point where she doesn't like school too much anymore.
But to use an analogy when it comes to preparation, I use a similar situation. I remember my dad, in his bedtime stories, when we were in Michigan on vacation, but we were going to be coming home, and on the way home we would take 4 days to the trip home. We would stop and stay in a tourist cabin overnight each night, and so he had this family, following his family, and he made a point of, then they stopped and stayed in the tourist cabin, and so it got me wondering, what is the tourist cabin? And then I found out.
Oh yeah. See, that's how so we're like, I know another thing that will help is that we can write and we'll have to do it soon, is to write a calendar out with the schedule. So, it's kind of like explaining it, and then so she can anticipate it, just like you said, you kind of know and you kind of find out. The thing is, her robe, her gown, cap and gown, I think are going to be picked up on Tuesday. She has to pick it up from the lunchroom and bring it home, because we already ordered it, and then your books will be coming in. So she's going to see it all coming to a head, but we got to write up a calendar for her. Oh, and yeah, definitely. Wow, all the talk for so many people. No wonder with the OCD, she's finding things to control. That's what I think, because it kind of started at the beginning of all those interviews they were doing with her. Her lawyer even had to come in. She had to be served from my lawyer that she was getting she was being conserved. She had to she had a lawyer who gave her information and had to talk to her. Then the investigator had to come in and speak with her and give them her card. I found her card in the room, the investigator's card in her room when I was cleaning her room, her lawyer's card too. But they literally have to do it just as if she was any other adult. But I think it was those things that stressed her out.
Yeah.
Even in public school, my son turned 18 a couple months before graduation, was told he had to sign to get permission to get any more information about anything. Yeah, I had to submit the paperwork because we had needed to discuss an upcoming IEP, and she didn't have permission to speak with us without that. My children have state ID since elementary school. I started to take. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've been meaning to get the Andre one because he's gonna need it anyway in the coming year.
Yeah, and I thought about it too, because if there's an emergency flight that anybody needs to take, you have to have those. I think started next year. You have to have a real ID.
Yeah, it's starting this year.
Oh, is it 2023?
Well, I know here they said by March 2023 because I have to go get
Okay.
mine.
Yeah.
Okay,
In the
yeah.
past, you could get by with a virtual ID, but now you got to have a real ID.
Whole life can be tracked through therapy, doctors, school, but they want to jump over exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Charles, I'm sorry for interrupting while I want to get this done. What is your t-shirt size?
You know, I've been wearing extra large, but I can do large. Large would fit me too.
Okay.
Large or extra large.
Okay,
I'm in the background, you guys.
Yeah, she's Veronica says, "Aw, LOL." She's like, "I'm grown. Who's going to school?" Because I pulled Steve aside and I said, "I think she thinks she's not going to school because she's a grown up because we're all grown ups and we don't go to school." So yeah, I felt really bad for her.
Yeah. Well, even as adults, of course, sometimes we go to various schools. I've gone to school for my jobs, and then went to another kind of school yesterday. So, you know.
What did Veronica, for a second I thought Linda was asking if we were in 2023. When was I saying that when I was talking about the real ID? Oh no, I was actually before that. I was wondering what month we were in. This month flew by.
March.
Goodness, yeah, it flew by too. Like we were doing our Bible reading. I think we started in Leviticus in March, and now we're in more than halfway through Deuteronomy. But it seems like that's the only thing I'm keeping track of the days on for some reason because it's the first thing in the day. But it seems like this month just flew by. We're already in the last week.
Yeah.
Mr. Charles, one more thing. Do you want Charlie or Charles?
Why don't you put Charlie on there?
Okay. Okay. Carry on. I'm still in the background.
Okay. And I got to look for that thing and send you an up-to-date picture of me to post during April. I'll look for that link after we finish this session. I'll look for it.
But you're allowed. It sounds like you've been through it. It's just, I was thinking that I was cleaning up the backyard because we had all these windstorms, so I had to clean up all these leaves. But I was like, it just seems like everybody goes through so much more because technology allows you to do more things in a day than before. Before, in a day, you would go shopping, you might do a few things, you might, your job, things like that. But because technology, you are expected to get things done quicker. So you have more things to do because they can be done in a quicker amount of time. But it just seems like things are just getting faster and faster. And yeah. But it'll be nice. I think next year, Emily's transition program, I think, is half a day. And then one of our sons moved out last week. He left on Sunday, and he got sick 2 days ago in Austin, I think. So he was staying in Austin. He's driving to Florida from California. So he should be in New Orleans. If not right now, he should be there within an hour or two. But when he gets situated in Florida, I'll relax some. But when he's driving across country, I feel like, is he going to be okay?
And something I've never done is driven across country. I mean,
Really?
flown across country
Mm-hmm.
many times, but never attempted to drive across country. The farthest I've driven, when I lived in Virginia, one time I drove all the way to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, where my sister lived. Actually, it was a circuitous drive too, because I drove first to Atlanta to visit some friends there, and then drove from there to Eureka Springs, which is kind of in the northwestern part of the state of Arkansas, and visited my sister, and then drove home from there.
Okay. Yeah, we did that more than a few times when I was a kid, because my father's from Detroit, so we would drive from California to Detroit. His mom moved to Cleveland, so we'd see her in Cleveland. We would go to New York. And then one time we moved to New York, and then we moved back. Then we went back to visit. So we drove a few different times across the country. It was good times.
Yeah, well, the drive that my daughter and I remember, we still remember this trip fondly. It was the time when she and I took a vacation, just the two of us alone, and we drove north into Canada. We visited Montreal and visited Quebec City, and then we drove around the Gaspé Peninsula, and we stayed in Prince Edward Island for a week, and then drove home from there. And that was when we lived in Virginia at the time.
Okay. Yeah, we were thinking about driving to Virginia from California in September. My father's in Virginia now.
What part of Virginia?
He's in Hampton.
Okay, so he's down in the southeastern part of the state, in Hampton Roads area. Yeah, whereas we were in the Washington, D.C. metro area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I told him we want to fly in through DC, and he's like, "Oh, I hate going to DC. It's the city and all this stuff." But anyways, yeah, I think it's like 2.5 hours away.
Yeah, my daughter and I were actually going to get together. She was going to pay for the whole thing for us to, get together in Washington, D.C. And that was in June of 2020, and the pandemic put a stop to it.
Yeah, we were going to drive the year of, I think, the summer of the pandemic, and then, or it was the summer after that. We just thought it was everybody was getting violent, and there was all these crimes and things. I think it was 2021. It was when everyone started to come back out and things were going crazy. But my daughter and I were going to fly this month or next month, but in the fall, we wanted to all, the three of us, to take a drive cross country, because Emily will be done with school.
Yeah.
Nita, can we make and submit a short video, Nita, for April? It doesn't need to be live.
No, it doesn't need to be live. You can submit, a video and send it to me. Just let me know, what the topic is about, so I could put it in the topic area.
Aw. Everyone, please take some time out for your self-care. Everyone, please take some time out for self-care this week. We're on spring break here. Thanks, Danielle.
Good advice. Very good. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to say, I'm scheduled myself for a Focus Live end of April. We're going to talk about my journey, but any particular areas anyone in the group would like me to address, any questions they'd like me to answer, if they want to submit any questions in advance, I'll gladly take them, and I'll take them into consideration and what I plan to put together. I'm going to talk about my childhood, and also my experiences with romance and with parenthood. And with and my experience in the working world.
Oh, poor Eddie. Eddie's having such a huge meltdown. Poor guy.
Yeah.
He won't let any of us get up and walk around.
That's too bad. Yeah.
I was thinking about Danielle the other day. I was thinking about all the time when she always gives the advice good words of advice. And there was something I was thinking about doing, and then I was like, what would Danielle tell me to do right now? I was thinking about it, and it popped in my head. She's always like, take time for yourself, take care of yourself. Poor Eddie, my Bubba. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Michelle says, remember, and Michelle's really good too with those. Remember that you are the voice for your loved ones. Say it proud and loud. Do what you feel is right thing for them, and ignore those that want to stand in your way. You do what you need and take a step back when needed. You deserve it. Have earned every second of the peace and love that you have sent out in the universe.
Yeah, very good, Michelle.
We should all print this out and remember it, like when we need it, like, oh, okay, put on my little bulletin board. Okay, that's what I need to see. It's funny because things can get so hectic and so busy, and you forget to think about, you're thinking about what you have to do next, and you're not thinking about how am I doing? Am I doing okay?
We love you too, Lorienda.
Yeah. Oh, he's been doing this morning and evenings for a few weeks now. I think he's having growing pains in his legs because once he shouted leg and threw a chunky ham of a leg on me. Aw.
Oh. Yeah, that's tough when when your child can't communicate, what exactly, he's feeling.
Yeah, that is hard. It's hard thinking ahead. I'm almost 60. I think how hard it will get as Carter goes from 7, 10, 14, and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
This coming Tuesday, everybody from elementary school to high school has to do state testing.
Yeah.
I think Emily had testing last week or the week before that. He used to love baths, and as of 2 months, he hates them. We both end up soaked. I feel like I tried to bathe a feral cat. LOL, my poor Eddies. It's funny how they can go from something that they like to something that they hate to, they go through these different things. Like we could sit here and say like, oh, remember the years when Emily hated this or Emily hated that. She used to hate bats. The water, I would turn the water on and oh my goodness, it'd just be screaming all around the house. Aww.
Yeah. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. Hope he's feeling better now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What got me finally into taking daily showers was when I got asked one time too many, by other kids, when was the last time I took a bath?
Oh. So when he has the IEP and testing after the spring break. This is the part of the school year that goes really quick because we have spring break coming up And then I think it'll be like 3 weeks of school and then another holiday. And then the last few weeks of school, she'll be done with school. Yes, Eddie left baths, and now it's like it's bath time. Yeah, it's bath time. I folded a small blow-up kid's pool in the tub. Think it feels more comfortable for him, like a cocoon. That's a good idea. What I did for Emily was I used to have to. It took me a bit to realize that it was probably the faucet sound that she didn't like, and then so I would run it without her thinking it was for her, and then have her go in there, and then it was a little easier then.
That's good when you can identify what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Is often something that you just wouldn't normally think of as a problem. You right away think of the bath, think of the water temperature, stuff like that. But the faucet sound is something that But it's true with phobias that then kids on the spectrum develop, and often just like the phobia I had about forks, where for several
That's right.
years I wouldn't eat with a fork because I didn't like the holes that forks made in food.
Yeah, and see, you're able to explain that, yeah.
And then I snapped out of it. And then they decided spoons were for babies, and I just started eating everything with a fork. I must have made some exceptions for things like soup, for example. I know I ate soup, and that you have to eat with a spoon. So I know I made some exceptions, but like ice cream, I know I would eat with a fork.
Yeah, you would? You would eat ice cream? Yeah?
Yeah.
What about cereal?
I must have eaten cereal with a spoon. I can't imagine eating that with a fork. But so
Yeah.
I know I made some exceptions, but I think it was right around when I started drinking coffee. It was about when I stopped when I snapped out of that and started using a spoon for things people normally use spoons for.
Yeah. It goes so fast after winter break. They have a week off every month. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's gonna, oh my goodness. And then, yeah, and she's our last one too. So she's our last one finally finishing school. Shoot, I'm open to all and any suggestions. LOL, I've tried everything. Yeah, that was even when I didn't run the faucet with her around, still. And it almost ultimately came down to the planning, the warning that, okay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that, and then not running the bath with her around. So to let her know, okay, in 10 minutes, we're going to be doing this and, whatever. Eventually, like I said, it did get better, but I think the faucet played a huge part though. And some of it, I think it was just, even without those things, it still just took time for her to finally come out of that.
He gets mad when the faucet gets turned off. Wow.
Oh, really? It's so funny. They're so different like that. Like, Linda, has it been raining in North Cali? I seen bad weather on. It has been. We have a few good days right now. We had a lot of wind and rain. And then I think we have rain coming back starting Tuesday. And this is strange for us. We had a really cold winter, and we had snow too here, but we had a really cold winter and a lot of rain.
Yeah, and here we had a mild winter until we got to March. March was cold, but now we're at the end of March, and today was a nice day. And then tomorrow is supposed to, saying 60% chance of rain. We'll see whether that happens, but that will affect Cindy's plans.
Oh, yeah.
Whether she goes out with the cart tomorrow or not.
Jaden used to hate baths. I went and bought one of those extendable shower heads. It had an adjustment head and would put it on the rainfall setting. Then it was easier. That's good.
Yeah. And of course, you have someone who doesn't like the thing to be turned off. What you can do is you fill the bath almost to the desired level, and you just keep the water running at a very slow pace. You don't turn it all the way off, and So you still got water running anyway. You don't have the turn off thing until he gets out. Then you turn it off.
I think some kids start to realize the water down the drain, and it scares them that they might. So I'd let the water out later. I started to do that one too. And then I started when she tells me she's done, then I tell her, okay, open the drain, and then she'll do that. And she has to do that too. She has to wait for the specific order. Even her laundry has to go into the laundry bin a certain way. Everything has to be right side out, and it has to sit in there a certain way. Then she has to clean up every single thing for bath. She has to put it back just so precisely. And this is what we always want our kids to do, right? But now she's got me a little concerned.
Yeah.
Yes, Eddie used to love this. Now he loses his ever-loving mind. Yeah, it's funny because it can happen There was a time when Emily, when she heard the front door, she'd come running downstairs. She'd, hello, hello. And she would just think that we all left. But she went through, huge separation anxiety just all of a sudden. Does he like swimming? Yeah. Emily's exactly, they really are like Emily and Brandon. Emily's exactly like Brandon. Brandon exactly like Emily. Yep. I think like 4 days apart on the birth date. Yeah. I read this one scientific thing, and it said certain amount of your personality can come from the month that your mom was pregnant with you because of the outside. It had to do with like weather or something like that, but it was the way that the months that you were in the womb. It was a scientific study. It was interesting though.
Yeah.
He loved swimming last summer. I guess I'll see this summer. When she was really, really little and she was afraid of the bath, and it was summertime, and she would have a little kiddie pool and everything, we would have to do like what I called Sesame Street baths, because it was like, okay, well, you're coming out of the pool now, and we're like, okay, we're gonna just do this, and just if she's in the water anyways. I think too, part of her fear, because for girls, you have to wash their hair, and their hair is a longer process. Like I can remember when I was little, and I was like, is today a hair day? Gotta go. Hope you have a wonderful week. Okay, thanks, Beth. Hope you have a great week too. And Brandon was mad too when he had to go back to school after you turned 18. It sucks having those birth dates in January. Yeah, because you want to emphasize you're a grown up. You're going to be a grown up. And
Yeah.
it didn't even cross my mind that she would think that, but
yeah, for me, I don't know. Of course, I was born in November, so that issue wouldn't have arisen. But I think if it had arisen, if I had been born in an early month in the year, that wouldn't have been an issue for me, because I understood I was going to continue going to school after I graduated. It was going to be college now, and so I'm okay. So high school goes till that June, and then I start college the next September. I think that's how I would have taken it if I had been born early in the year.
we have used a storage tub as a bath before out of the bathroom. Younger Brandon with Eddie. And my son is 16, but he keeps talking about his 18th birthday. Does he keep talking about it like he thinks it's next, or he's just talking about it because of how big the 18th one is? Did everybody have dinner already? Oh, it's
Yeah,
kind of
I
late
did.
now.
I just had a small little bit. My main meal was lunch, the jerk chicken I fixed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And then Nita had spaghetti.
Church chicken.
And we
Yeah.
had a salad
I'm
with that.
still working
He
in the
put some,
Oh,
background, you guys.
yeah,
same
Cindy
with it
fixed a
for
couple
Grace.
of corns on the cob too. So, yeah.
It's almost
He
that
was
time of
afraid of the
year.
full bathroom.
He'll be graduating. He can't decide what he wants to do. Oh, nice. Yeah, Lorianda, Nita's eating. Yes, I stuffed my face already. Michelle.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm eating chicken and bread. LOL. That's it. Haha. I don't even care on Sundays. LOL.
Okay.
Yes, I had soup. My throat. Oh, running
Yeah.
nose.
Yeah.
I
Well, you
hope
got
you're
to take care
feeling
of
better.
yourself. Yeah. You got to take care of yourself. Yeah. 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 But yeah, this is what I did after high school. Yeah, Michigan State. And by the way, Michigan State has, from what I understand, some good accommodations for students with special needs, including autism. So
I had a chicken and shrimp platter left over from my autism mom's group meeting last night. Do you
that
meet monthly or do you meet weekly?
I've got to decide what I'm going to fix for lunch tomorrow. I might fix there's a shrimp dish I think I'll fix, but I have to decide for sure.
By the way, Nita, the restaurant has an event room that might be perfect as backup plan for us. I was going to ask about that.
What happened?
About your lunch. I think it's a lunch. You're doing a luncheon?
Luncheon has the event room that might be perfect as back. Well, you know what I was thinking? We might as well do that first. Try that out first. Restaurant, and then later on get an event room. That way everything will be there, and I'm sure they have some kind of, long as we can set it up, maybe have a table, a set up table. Okay, let me go back. I'm in the other screen trying to get this done.
Okay. What are you doing? What are you doing? The schedule?
The shirt.
Okay. Okay, got it. We meet monthly, autism after hours. We go out and do activities together and eat. Do you bring your kids too?
Oh, that's nice.
The monthly, that is really good. I never go to Olive Garden, but my mom came and was like, let's go. It's so good. And now all I want is Olive Garden ever since she left. LOL.
Yeah. Yeah. Cindy and I sometimes have either, we've even during the pandemic, we several times, ordered pick up food from there because they would deliver it to the car, and so just open the window, they put the bag in and drive off. And now we're back where it's safe to go in and eat.
Mm-hmm. I do like that since the pandemic and those things, though, there's some things that stuck around. Like you could still do curbside before you have to go in and pick it up. So there's still certain things that still are there. that started then. There's a lot more doctor's appointments that are virtual. There's a lot more things that are virtual instead of, they stuck around, once they were implemented, which is what I really like. There's a lot more jobs at home too.
Yeah, that's right. It has changed a lot of things, but like the week before last, the 16th, Cindy and I celebrated our 11th anniversary. That time we did go out to we went to a Peruvian restaurant in downtown New Haven.
I saw the pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked really good. No, it's just for parents and caregivers. Oh, okay, that's really good. I love it too. It's convenient. Linda, I do like a lot of the convenience. Yeah, it's I I just will not waste time grocery shopping in a store anymore. I just do online shopping now. I don't know. It's just I just got out of that habit, and it's just I cannot get it back. It's almost like it's kind of bad because then you can get into a rut as far as not going out and doing things.
Well, Cindy and I are back into shopping in person, and one thing that Cindy discovered, and now we do regularly on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays is a farmer's market in a nearby town that if you go there on Tuesdays and spend at least $30, they will give you a free dozen eggs.
Oh, that's right. That's what you said. I seen the price of eggs are coming down too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I seen Walmart 60 was for $30, and then now their 60 is $15. I seen it trickling down, but it's all the way down to 15 now, so that's good. But Sam's has them for 13. Yeah, pharmacies are even delivering, mailing out. Now, first time since the pandemic. Nice. I hope you enjoyed it. But it's okay. I spend less when I. That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. Because I will sort through my cart a few times. What do I really need? And and I'll even leave it in the cart for like a day or two. I'll even start building the cart like a week ahead sometimes. But I think I am more frugal online by doing pickup or delivery, but not going in the store.
Yeah, well now this farmers market, that's really a saver for Cindy and me. But what I always have been doing is planning out recipes, and that way I identify what I need, and then I kind of embellish that with things I want for breakfast and so on. But I plan the dinner recipes, and so that way I know what I need there. Do I need shallots? Do I need how are we doing with our garlic? Do we need more garlic? Do we need certain spices? Like the jerk chicken called for a hot pepper. I got that.
Yeah, our farmers markets will open probably in June. So I'm looking forward to that. She says, yeah, now you don't need a dozen eggs to propose. I know, it's strange to see them come back down, but they are. Yeah, we'll get a drive-up order, then park, run in the store. I like to pick that's what I do with Sam's. I don't want to do all of the Sam's, but there's a few things that I do want to see, and that's what I'll do. I'll go at the 8 o'clock on the Plus membership. You can get in at 8 o'clock, 2 hours before they open. But so I'll get most of my stuff pick up, and I'll usually do the pickup, go park, and then go in.
Yeah. We also have a place, a meat store called Ferraro's here in New Haven. That is where we have been going lately to get most of our meat items anyway, because they have pretty much everything you need in the way of meat item, and it costs less than other places. So that's where I'm going. This week we have our traveling overseer coming to visit us, circuit overseer, and we're giving him lunch on Wednesday, and I'm going to fix chicken shawarma. And so I'll pick up the chicken from Ferraro's tomorrow, and we've got all the other ingredients we need for the marinade, and so I'll start it marinating tomorrow night, and
Oh, nice.
then Tuesday I'll go to the farmer's market, and then Tuesday I'll be able to fix the tabbouleh salad, and so everything will be set. And then I just Wednesday, an hour before he comes, I got to pop it in the oven.
Oh, nice. And Teresa says she shops at Amazon using EBT card. Veronica says I do that too because some items say that, some of Sam's items say that you have to go inside. The eggs were like that up until I think, because I have to do it Sam's order tomorrow morning or Tuesday morning. But I see that you can put eggs in your cart now. But there are some things, they make you go in to get. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't have the, I don't know. I just got set in it, I guess. I like opening the front door and seeing the groceries. No, but I will go to Sam's because I don't want to pay the Instacart price on it. My husband doesn't like it there, so now that I like it, I'm like, who am I going to go with? Oh, he doesn't like Olive Garden? That's how Steve was. My favorite food is spaghetti, and so I would always want to go to an Italian restaurant, but for a long time he didn't want to. But he does like Olive Garden.
Yeah, I mean, Olive Garden, I would probably usually get from there is the salmon, because that's relatively low in calories as far as things go there, and you get enough to fill you up, with the breadsticks and everything else. So,
who doesn't like all you can eat salad and breadsticks, right? Loranda said she'll go with you, Veronica.
Well, I remember how Howard Johnson's went out of business. Howard Johnson's used to be able to, any Wednesday or Friday night, you could get all the clams you could eat for just 4 clams. And of course they went out of business that way.
Most of us who have children who do activities together, so we get together later in the... Oh, that's nice. Oops. Michelle, that was what I was going to say. What did Michelle? Oh, yeah, exactly. The bread
salad, yeah.
Their salad's bomb I would go to. Okay, let's all make it a day. Let's go. Loranda. What's that?
What
is that?
Remember that, yeah. But
that's what that is. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, all the clams you could eat for just 4 clams. No wonder they went out of business.
Howard Johnson?
Yeah. And when they went out of business, though, you can no longer get all you could eat clam. That was a calamity.
Oh my goodness.
I got to tell you, we have a seafood restaurant in North Haven here in Connecticut it's called Dino's, where it's a lot of the business they do is takeout. And when Cindy and I first got here, when we moved to Connecticut back now going on 6 years ago, we didn't have our kitchen quite set up yet. So I went out, picked up dinner for us from Dino's, and Cindy asked for the fisherman's platter, which is, assortment of seafood. And I got they had some soft shell crabs. So I ordered me a soft shell crab platter. I got the dinners home, and Cindy couldn't wait to open up one of the boxes. I could tell she'd opened up the wrong box, because she opened up the box and immediately recoiled from it. But she saw this bug looking up at her.
Millennials were not first at abbreviations.
No, not by any means. No.
Okay.
Every time Michelle says something, I look at her expression on this picture and it matches usually what she said.
Michelle
You
says
see
that.
her face?
I had to make a slight change. I hope everybody likes these.
Okay.
Yes, Linda, I look at her expression too. 2 more months until my son will be turning 12 years old and graduating 6th grade.
Okay. Yeah, it's my personal sentiments about this. I don't know. It seems like the graduation experience, I can understand on one hand the idea of give kids a feeling of accomplishment at certain kilometer stones along the way, but the flip side of it is it seems like graduation, the experience is getting cheapened by the fact that you've got kids graduation ceremonies from kindergarten, and graduation ceremonies all along the way. I don't know. There's a flip side to that. This idea of they're getting these nice kilometer stones, but it's on the other hand cheapens the whole thing. It's the big deal is graduating from high school and graduating from college. But I don't know. All I know is just when I was growing up, those were the only 2 graduations that they had, the only 2 things that were called graduations, and for which they had ceremonies.
Yeah, that's true. I don't remember it. I only remember junior high and high school, and then of course, but now they have one for kindergarten, and then they have one from primary to upper grades, and then elementary.
It seems to me I have to wonder if the main thing behind it is that it's a way for people who sell things like caps and gowns and so on to make more money.
Yeah, I wonder. Anita, Loranda says, will we be able to order more of these beautiful shirts on AAU main
Yeah,
page?
once the website, once I get the website, they're working on that now still, and get the store going and connect everything, then yes.
And Danielle says her daughter is turning 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Okay.
Like, oh my goodness, it just seems like people, you remember how people would tell you, oh, it goes by so fast, enjoy them, and you think, oh yeah, but it's not go by fast, but it does go by fast.
Well, for my daughter, 16,
Mm-hmm.
Well, my daughter 16 was the big deal because the day after she turned 16, she realized her childhood ambition.
Oh, to become a grown-up driver?
to become a woman driver.
A woman driver. Mr. Rolls, I love all the pomp and circumstance until it's time to do it.
Yeah.
Says this, Danielle. My son will be getting to visit a middle school in a couple weeks, 6th grade next year, and turning 12.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool beans.
Very good. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly how I would explain it. Slowly goes by really fast.
Yeah. 7th grade was the big change where I grew up, because that's where you began junior high in Connecticut, and you began having the concept of a homeroom and moving from class to class. And my mom, prepared me for that, and explained how that would work. So I knew what to expect. And there are a few problems. Well, for one thing, there was a little bit of a schedule mix-up for me in 7th grade, because as most people in this group know, I was way ahead of other kids in math. So I was enrolled in Algebra 2, and that they had some things mixed up with my schedule with that, and because the enroll in that instead of 7th grade math, and finally they got that all straightened out. And my original schedule had me going both to Algebra 2 and to 7th grade math, and had the study halls mixed up. And anyway, they got that all straightened out. So,
Michelle, I spell your son. I deleted that video because you guys know it went through all the groups when I meant to just have it in the team group. So I deleted it. So I need. Okay, there you go, Jaden. And
David is awesome.
And your sizes too. Oh, go ahead.
David is like, Mom, I need a drink. Can you help me? It's not safe. Eddie tries to bulldoze him back into the couch if he gets up. Aw. He's still doing it right now? Veronica, you already up? My son will be visiting our local junior high next month or in May.
Very good.
My children only had 5th grade and 8th grade celebrations, no kindergarten. Yeah, I don't remember doing kindergarten for my kids either. Except for whatever was at school, but not, we didn't like have a party. It might have been like, actually, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I've heard
Jaden will be.
In some places some places they do have a graduation ceremony from kindergarten. And probably not universally, but in some places they do.
Yeah, I've seen them on YouTube before too. Yeah.
Which just strikes me as it's a way that some people who make caps and gowns and other graduation related things can make more money.
So there's this. Still here. What was that?
Danielle still in here?
I hope so. I was going to tell her something. Oh yeah, right here. So they both graduated middle school during the pandemic. My son's was a drive-through in 2020. My daughter's was a clap outside.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's kind of the same impression I have about, how in college football they've added all these also ran bowl games. So even college teams that have a mediocre season get to play in a bowl game. Well, that whole thing strikes me as somebody's way of making more money out of college football.
Every day I have my, I bought this calendar, daily calendar, and every day I write a quote or like a sentence or something about what I feel that day. A lot of them are inspirational quotes, but I took what Danielle said, and it says, raising your kids slowly goes by really fast. And so that quote, whatever day I put this on, it actually is going to be Diane Danielle Dallow's quote. So you'll have one of your quotes will be in my book, Danielle.
Oh,
That's very good.
I was like,
that's
because the way she said that, it was like, but I started doing this since the beginning of the year. And so then it helps me like, and I put stickers on it and I write a quote down each morning. And then it kind of keeps me, kind of like to try to look at myself in the morning and then try to like guide my day and being a good day. But, yeah, I was like, but that's exactly how I would explain it too. She said it well. Okay, my dears. Getting sleepy after my, hope you feel better.
Get plenty of rest, Lorianda.
yes. I hope you feel better, Lorianda.
Oh, he's okay with me up if I'm out of the way. LOL. Good night. Good night, Lorianda.
Good night, Amanda.
You're welcome. No, thank you. Thanks, Lorianda. Good
night,
night.
Michelle.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, so I'm gonna finish up Emily's hair braiding for this week. We did half of it this morning, so we made a deal to finish the other half tonight.
All right, everybody. Good night. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
I
everyone.
appreciate
Have a
each
good
and
week.
every one of you.
Have a good week.
Oh, and Danielle, we gotta. I'll inbox you. So,
Bye, everyone.
see you later.
Night.